smell what The Rock is cooking.
As soon as that started to play, I knew that you were going to let it play to the exact point where they would start to fade it when he would make his like standard ring entrance.
I think what you meant to say was, finally,
go on.
Black Adam has returned to the Superhero Homies podcast.
There's not a button on that board that could express how disgusted I am by this entire order of events. But to be fair, it has been. I sent you the snapshot of it today. They announced this man as Black Adam in 2007. We have people that we hang out with who were 9. Like,
yeah. Talk about a long time coming.
Yeah.
Talk about a long time. Yeah, 2000. I knew it was a long time ago. I didn't know it was that long ago, though.
Yeah.
Jeez, that is just ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, but here we are in 2022. Hey, I mean, what's that? 15 years? You know?
Yeah, I mean,
just about.
This production could almost get a driver's license. Yeah, it's insane, man, that it took them that long to bring it to the screen. Now, obviously, they weren't working on it the whole time, but
right.
That was when they cast him as Black Adam. Was that long ago?
And it never changed. Like, only The Rock could do something like that.
Yeah,
like that. His would have rolled if somehow someone else got casted as Black Adam. Yeah.
That's true, man, and it's kind of going to be hard to envision someone else coming to the role after this. Not to say that this is definitive in any way, but I think for a while, I don't think anybody else should attempt it.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement with you there. But I guess before we get too far into things, I want to go ahead and say, homies, welcome to a very, very special edition of the Superhero Homies podcast. This is actually the second recording that the homie Caleb and I are doing here tonight.
What up?
What is going on? But for those of you who are new here or who don't know by chance,
the reading of the rules.
The reading of the rules. The reading of the rules are as follows. The first portion of this review will be spoiler-free, so if you have not seen the movie yet, and if you do not want to be spoiled, there are no worries because we will not talk about anything explicit that has not been shown in the trailers. We will talk about the tone, pacing, characters, that kind of thing, while keeping it completely spoiler-free. There will be a noticeable break, and we will tell you guys when we are taking a break, and then when we come back from said break, it will be spoiler-filled. You will be notified when this podcast becomes spoiler-filled. So that is your reading and warning of the rules. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get it right off the bat here. Caleb, what are your vague overall thoughts about this movie?
So let me.
It doesn't matter what your thoughts are about this movie.
Is this going to go on all night? How long have you been planning this?
When did I ask you to be on?
It was like a week ago.
Yeah, about that time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Okay. So overall, I gotta say that I went into this movie with very low expectations, maybe no expectations. I thought that at best it was gonna be like The Rock kills people for an hour, right? And there was a good bit of that.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I actually walked out of this pleasantly surprised. We were talking about this word being overused these days. I'm gonna say there were some things in this movie that are very cringe. There are some characters in this movie that if you took them out, it would improve the entire film significantly. But Overall, though, I don't think that it was able to drag down the film. I think it may be the best paced of all the DC films. I came out pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. The homie Kevin, he's not here to give his support, but he wanted me to do so on his behalf. And he even gave me a score. So when we get to that point, I'll give a score as well. But Kevin was thoroughly pleased with the movie that we got. Like I think to a degree, all three of us went into this movie very low expectations, and just like you and Kevin, I walked away thinking that was a whole lot better than I thought that this was going to be.
Right.
And I heard you mention on the Rough Cut episode you released just earlier today that there, and you even mentioned it just briefly, just a few seconds ago, about how there were a couple of characters who this movie could have done without, or who just were very, very cringe for you, and who kind of just didn't do it for you. And I'm curious to know if we're thinking of the same two characters, because I feel that same way about two characters in particular as well in this movie. So I'll be really curious to know when we get there if we have the same two characters in mind.
I bet we probably do, or at least one of them is going to be similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think you even mentioned how one of them gets like a fair bit of screen time, and I'm like, man, I really wish you didn't.
So let's just say though that like Black Adam does get the most screen time.
Absolutely.
And there's never a point where he's on screen where I want him to be off screen. As a matter of fact, it's like he should be the most interesting character. He is the most interesting character, and I want to see more of him. You know? And I will watch another movie with him in it.
Oh, absolutely. So to start off here, you did mention about the pacing of this movie and about how you think it's maybe one of the best paced DC films that we've gotten here recently. I also thought that the pacing, I don't know if I say it's the best, but I will say that like it's up there, and the pacing was very appropriate for the kind of high octane movie that we have here.
Right. There's very few places where this movie drags, if any.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes where it's like, okay, cool, next thing. But there's never a point in the movie where you're just like, man, when is this going to pick back up? Like, you don't have time to have that thought.
Right.
Like, I don't consider this to be a spoiler, so I'll just put this in there. Like, from the moment that Black Adam is introduced, the next, 30 minutes is all action.
Yes.
It is high, intense, well done, well choreographed. Everything looks good. The CG doesn't look like it's, rushed or unfinished or anything. That whole span of the movie, like, I think you could watch that in like a vacuum and just have it and be like, that was an incredible piece of Black Adam, just as a character, just showing like what he's capable of.
Do you think The Rock chose this role because Black Adam is literally one of the most electrifying men in all comic books?
I was really hoping this was going to wear out faster than this, but here we are. He is definitely the most electrifying man in the DCEU, I would say.
Oh, okay, all right. I promise. I'm done. All right, no more. But no, I really enjoyed the pacing here. I think the movie was was it just shy of 2 hours? I feel like
it feels shorter than
it
that.
Does. It really did. It felt like a much shorter affair because again, it's just high octane action, but it's not like I want to say this as well, and that's kind of varying from pacing into like a little bit of like the storytelling here a little bit, but it's not like Fast and the Furious style action in terms of, with all due respect to the Fast and Furious franchise, say that 10 times fast. It may be a lot of fun, but the Fast and Furious franchise, typically people rag on it for not making a whole lot of sense. It's just, you just get a whole lot of nonsensical action and family, and that's kind of it. I do have to say this: Black Adam is not reinventing the wheel in terms of a story. It's not giving us anything new, and it's not trying to. But what it does is it gives us a really simple yet effective story. Now, sometimes they do hit those plot beats too many times to the point where you almost want to physically say, "No, I get it. I get what you guys are trying to tell me here." Okay, but we don't need to keep beating this horse till it's fucking mashed potatoes.
Right.
But at the same time, at no point did the story feel like it didn't make sense. And I would even go so far as to say that there was a scene, maybe there was a scene in the third act that caught me by surprise that I thought was so good in terms of what it did for the story that it made me like the first act more. Right. And I was like, I didn't see that coming, and it was a very effective thing they did with the story. And again, with a movie like Black Adam, I didn't expect that.
Right. And here's the thing: the third act is, especially in these superhero films, the third act is the hardest thing to pull off.
Yep.
Because it's like, how do you nail it without making it like all the others, right? How do you nail it without just having CG fight, portal in the sky, all that, right?
And go ahead.
And then, yeah, I mean, not to say that there, because plenty of people have done all that and failed horribly still. And then, how do you differentiate yourself without going the bad connotation of subverting expectations, making it feel underwhelming, et cetera, et cetera? So it is such a fine line that they kind of have to walk on these, where it's like, it's almost to the point now where it's like, at least I don't want to speak for anybody else, but me personally, I'm like, I will take a predictable ending that at least wraps it up for me over some Christopher Nolan mind fuck that ends up with me in like walking out of the theater like, oh my God, like mind blown, because very few people can pull that off.
Right.
And not everybody needs to pull that off. And if they did, then it wouldn't be special anymore. So it's very, like I said, it's a fine line. You have to be very intricate with how you handle these, finales. And the third act here does fall into a couple of tropes, but it was nothing that took me out of it.
No, agreed. And that's something that's very important. That the tropes don't just take you out of the whole immersion of it all. And I can surprisingly say this movie didn't do that. It didn't take me out of it. So like the story again is very simple. And I mean, like, if you're even vaguely familiar with, the story of Black Adam, then, that's what we kind of get here. We get Black Adam today. Like, who is he, today? And what kind of character is he? And who does he want to be? Things of that nature. And again, they do a pretty decent job of kind of fleshing out why he is the way that he is, and maybe why he wants to change, if he wants to change. Let's talk a little bit here about the characters that we get here, obviously, vaguely speaking. We talked a little bit about Black Adam. Obviously, he's the star of the show here, and I mean, I like what they give him here. Again, it's not role changing or anything like that, but what they do with them makes sense. And kind of like you just alluded to, that's what I'm looking for at the end of the day. Like, before it does anything else, does it make sense?
Right, make it make sense, because I would much rather walk out of there feeling like that was predictable than walk out of there feeling like my intelligence has been insulted.
Right.
Or, like, even worse, like a property I'm heavily invested in has been bastardized or ruined.
Oh, yeah.
One thing I will say about Black Adam in general, and this movie in general, is, like, there are some gaps, but, man, they went down to Sam's and bought an industrial-sized box of fucking Rule of Cool. Yes. And they just slathered that shit all over it.
Oh, absolutely. You name like a situation where Rule of Cool can be applied, and this movie has it in abundance. It is everywhere.
And I am not mad at it.
Me either.
I don't think it's a franchise. Like, I don't think you can hold up a trilogy with it.
No, you can't. you can't hold up a sequel with just Rule of Cool, because all you be doing is try to up what you previously did.
And they're gonna have a hard time with that. They
Yeah.
come in with a sequel for this, and I think they will for sure. Man, do they have a long way? I mean, they're gonna have to dig deep.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, man, they really will. We're gonna talk about that more in the second half as well, like what they might do or what they have to do.
Can't say a lot right now.
Yeah. But some of the let's talk about some of the supporting characters here. So obviously from the trailers, we know that we get Dr. Fate, we get Hawkman, and you guys see a giant person in the trailer. That giant person is Atom Smasher, and we get Cyclone as well. And these are the members that we get comprising the Justice Society of America. What did you think about these side characters here?
So let me say this. This is not a tall order, but this is by far the best presentation of the Justice Society that we've ever gotten, because in every live action or animated show, they almost always are just cannon fodder.
Insultingly so.
Or they're just lame.
Or they're just
or both.
Yeah.
I think that this is the definitive Dr. Fate. Holy shit, was it good. I mean, every second that like Dr. Fate is on the screen, I'm just like, I am watching and I do not use this term lightly, we are watching a Thanos level interpretation of Dr. Fate right here. Like, I have no problem saying that this is the definitive on-screen Dr. Fate.
I agree, and it's what they do with him with his powers, and it's also the person that got to play the role, Pierce Brosnan.
He killed it, man.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is, with looking at this movie on paper, I'm sure Pierce Brosnan probably was just like, this is beneath me, like as an actor. But then I'm sure that the way they got him onto this, he had to have seen his material.
Yeah.
Because the way that he is written, I mean, you almost would be forgiven for thinking that like that whoever wrote his parts didn't write the rest of this movie,
Right.
Because like his stuff is so much like deeper and like really like Shakespearean almost, and just well done. And you just don't really expect to see that in this kind of high octane type movie. I had nothing but good things to say about Dr. Fate.
And just to add on to that, like the thing about Dr. Fate is that he was the character I was most concerned about.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because he's very complex, and I'm like, how are you gonna do it? But they did a very good job of just streamlining him, giving you just what you need for a Dr. Fate, and then they nailed that and had Pierce Brosnan give an amazing performance around it.
And they didn't, they could have gone on a 30-minute montage about like the history of the helmet and all that,
right?
But they didn't. And like, while the like lore slut in me would love for them to do that, like it would not be. It's not necessary for this movie. Now, if they want to do a Justice Society movie, which after seeing this movie, I would be.
I would like to see.
Yes. By all means, go for it. It's DC and we want it, so they won't fucking do it. But
right, we got to use reverse psychology. We don't want to see that at all.
Yeah,
sounds like an awful idea, DC.
You hear that, Warner Brothers? That's like the last thing I ever would want to see is for you to do a Justice Society movie.
Yeah, and we also really, really want to see Ezra Miller in another Flash movie. That's what we want more than anything.
Yes, and we would like Atom Smasher to be in that.
Okay, you mentioned Atom Smasher, so let's go ahead and talk about him a little bit. Where were you? So in the rough cut, you said that
he's on the list. Yeah. He's one of the two.
Okay,
characters.
Okay.
I thought that like 95% of his screen time was garbage. I was not a fan. I think that so here's the thing, right? So we've talked about adaptations in depth and how some things need to change to be adapted to the screen, and some things don't, and some things shouldn't be touched, and some things it's like, okay, this is different but also good, or different but bad, or in some cases different but also bad. Like he could be bad on the page,
right?
And, like look at the Avengers video game. Like Kamala Khan was exactly like she was on the page, and thankfully they fixed that in the show. But I understand that Adam Smasher's mask looks like that on the pages.
You're right. It needed to be changed.
Yes.
It was Deadpool.
It was fucking terrible, god awful, just like it was like if the CW had Deadpool, that was Adam Smasher. The other characters even acknowledge how cringe he is at one point in the movie, which is one of the few moments that I liked him.
Here's the thing. Like, I didn't mind the actor who they got to play Adam Smasher.
No, I didn't. I didn't mind, but the mask is straight up Deadpool's mask.
It is. And it was hard to not see blue-faced Deadpool when you looked at him.
And that's one of the things too is like, given the modern audience, right? Like an uneducated audience, which a lot of them are.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong
Especially
with
to
it.
the Justice Society.
Correct. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But it would be very easy to look at these 4 characters and go T'Challa, Doctor Strange, Deadpool, and
Storm.
and either Storm or I cannot think of or Shuri.
Sure, yeah.
You know, because she has like the
because she's
nanotech
also the
and all
tech,
that.
yeah, the tech.
But I loved all 3 of the other members, but he's definitely the weak point on this team. And once again, yes, I understand the mask looks like that on the page,
Yep,
but
it
you
does.
have to be conscious of the culture you're releasing this movie into. Everyone knows Deadpool. He's on everybody's tongues right now because of the recent announcement, and just in general in the pop culture.
Yeah.
And it's just like, change the damn mask, or have him just not even wear one. Like, however you want to do it.
Right. And I do completely agree with that. Just because, again, when I looked at him, it's like, yeah, that's all I could see too. And then, like, I knew that would be like the broad interpretation, just because that's what you see. And I don't mean this is any disrespect to Adam Smasher as a character. I really like the character. I've been reading a lot of JSA leading up to the release of this movie. I like that character a lot, and I like how they talk about he's not the original Adam Smasher, but is actually his uncle who was the original, who's played by Henry Winkler. Mild spoiler, I guess. You see
That
him?
was cool.
Yeah,
cool
it was.
cameo.
Yeah. But reading the JSA, it's like, and we're gonna talk more about this in the spoiler field section, but it's like, man, no disrespect to Adam Smasher, but there are so many characters they could have chosen from, who arguably could have been cheaper to use, from like a technical standpoint.
They could have put Hawk Girl in the movie.
Yeah, Hulk, because like especially people like our age, from our generation, who grew up with like the Justice League cartoons,
Right.
like Hawk Girl is who we know arguably more than Hawkman.
Yeah. I mean, even from Titans, from
Titan, yeah,
Young Justice, CW, the CW
yeah,
stuff,
Legends of Tomorrow, yeah.
And even Smallville. They
Yeah.
were even in Smallville.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the animated stuff, like the Batman, Superman, like that series of animated films that they did. So
I think that, and I don't, DC probably definitely wouldn't go for this, but if they wanted to use like Jay Garrick, the original Flash, I think that he would have been really cool to see. I mean, especially like if you're bringing out like some of the old timers like Dr. Fate, you got to bring out like Jay Garrick, or another one who they really could have used would be like the original Green Lantern. That would have been really cool to see too.
Yeah, that would have been phenomenal. I guess maybe they're saving that.
Maybe, yeah.
Who knows what the mandate from Walter Hamada and co was?
Yeah, Walter Hamada, he has now exited
WB.
WB.
This is his last project that he worked on.
Yeah.
All the other ones got canceled.
That's not funny. Stop laughing, kid.
Can we talk about Hawkman though?
Yes.
Because holy shit.
So I also want to talk about the fact that, and Kevin and I mentioned this on the car ride back from the movie, but Hawkman and Dr. Fate, those two had such good chemistry that like it made me, it could literally make you believe, oh, they must have been in like a previous movie,
Yeah.
where those two characters had like this long storied history because the way they spoke to each other and interacted was really cool.
Literally, Rick Sanchez and Bird Person.
if Rick was sober,
Yeah. And possessed by a
right,
God of Order in a helmet.
Oh, that's sad.
Because you were like, they've been through some shit together. These were like war buddies,
Oh shit.
Yeah, Aldous Hodge is the guy that plays Hawkman.
Right.
And I would watch. I want Hawkman to be in anything else that they do.
Same.
Like this guy had the on-screen presence. He had the charisma. He was playing into like the tough guy part of the character, but he was reasonable though.
Right.
It wasn't like, I can't believe this person really exists. And his action scenes and stuff were just, I was blown away, man. When I saw he was going to be in the movie, I was like, here we go, another lame Hawkman.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do think there will be some like T'Challa comparisons, but whatever.
See, that's funny. I thought there would be like Falcon comparisons. Maybe both.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Yeah, because he does kind of have traits of both characters. Like, he's super rich. He's got like a secret space. I will tell you this though, they
the X Mansion.
ripped off the X Mansion.
Kevin and I also said that too. They said so, and I had to give Kevin his credit. He said, "How much do you think they had to pay Professor X to rent out the X Mansion?"
So he keeps his jet under the basketball court, and theirs is under the garden.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the driveway opens up. He keeps Batman's motorcycles.
Right.
Yeah.
He just rents that shit out whenever he's not filming his own movies. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a bunch of Black Noirs gear stored up somewhere. Yeah.
Everybody gets
Yeah, it's Xavier's storage and trunk room.
Right. That's how he really became rich.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. All these superhero people pay him to like store all their extra shit.
Yeah, that mansion was just straight up Xavier School for the Gifted Youth. Like, I mean, it looked.
It could be the same like set. Like it straight up could be.
Yeah, and I'm like, I would have maybe forked over the money to just CG a different. Yeah, just make a different looking house.
Yeah, y'all could have found a different mansion. There's a lot of mansions.
Right. I'm like, that mansion looks like it's in upstate New York, ran by a bald man in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that was that was like way too close to home. More than anything other than the Deadpool mask. Like I was like, that's the damn X Mansion. So when you watch the movie, you listen to this, you haven't seen it yet. Keep an eye out for that. It's a straight up X Mansion.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, if you look in the background, you can see like fucking Nightcrawler teleporting in the background. Like, shit, get out of here. Yeah.
We can't afford to have you here.
Right.
We broke his shit you didn't
know. And then of course there's Cyclone. Then the actress name is Quintessa Swindle. That's right. Yeah, I thought they did an amazing job too, and I wish they had given them more screen time. But
yeah,
I mean,
both Atom Smasher and Cyclone were kind of the background characters.
Yeah.
But it was kind of framed that way. It was almost like they were
the newer,
and they're kind of learning from the vets or whatever. It was a great chemistry there.
Yeah,
as far as that goes,
it was. And just to go off a little bit more on Hawkman, yeah, like he was tremendous. And like at first, I was worried that like, yo, wait a minute, you got Hawkman that's like the leader. Because Hawkman is traditionally a hot-headed character, which they kept very much in this movie.
Right.
But like you said, they played it in such a way where he was reasonable with it. And it led to some very fun scenes.
Yeah.
But no, as far as Cyclone goes, and again, this is something that Kevin mentioned, but like the way that she moved was almost like she was almost like doing a type of martial arts with her powers, like not like Wing Chun or Capoeira or something like that, just the way that she moved and manipulated the wind and utilized her powers to like not just to create cyclones or tornadoes, but like to use it to throw other objects. It was a very brief but well used power set.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of like opening scene of Shang-Chi when the Mandarin is fighting
Right,
their
right.
mom or whatever, and she's using like the wind power or whatever.
Yeah.
That it was pretty close to that, and I really liked. It's hard to pick apart any of the action in this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, so much of it just had a really unique like look to it. I mean, even with Atom Smasher, who I criticized and thought the movie would have been better with someone else. Like, even they strayed away from doing the Ant-Man stuff with him.
Yeah.
And that's tough to do because, like, they've kind of had a monopoly on that stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that is true because like, it is possible, if you are captured within that movie, it is possible to look at Atom Smasher, and I'd be damned, I didn't think about like the airport scene from Civil War. When,
Right.
like in my mind, I'm like, I thought that's where my mind would immediately go.
And they managed to not do that, which is a testament to, like, how well, like, somebody sat down and was like, okay, we can't do anything close to this.
Right.
And that's one of the things, too, is, like, when Ant-Man does the whole Giant Man thing, like, the way that he moves is completely different from the way that they had Atom Smasher move.
Right.
So important.
Yeah.
I mean, it just wouldn't have worked. And the fact that, like, even when I was watching it, my brain didn't go there, and neither did yours, like, that just shows that they did a really good job with it. Because I've seen that movie like a million times.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, especially that scene.
Yes.
My goodness. So there are other characters in this movie as well. And I won't mention too much about them. I will just say that there is another kind of family dynamic that's in the movie. And most of that does not work for me. And and there's particularly a child character.
And they're the other character on the list.
That's
They're pretty much awful the entire time.
yeah.
I know that you in particular hate child actors. And this is like why.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they put this kid in the movie thinking that like it will appeal to kids, because that's one of those great mistakes that Hollywood makes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, children don't really like want to necessarily see movies about children. Like, that's not really like a thing most of the time. Yeah, this kid, I'd say almost every scene he's in could be removed.
Yep.
And pretty much the only time that he is remotely entertaining, he is just a plot device and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, and like there's one moment where like the kid is in like some serious mortal danger, and there was a small nasty part of me that was like, just slow down, Black Adam.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like trip over your shoelace or something.
Yeah, even though you don't wear those, just yeah.
Yeah, I mean he was atrocious. Like, he's worse than Atom Smasher, mainly because like at least Atom Smasher has some good quality screen time. Like, there's some parts that you enjoy. But with him, it's just, oh God. I mean, you just don't, like, he has so many scenes where you're just like, get the fuck out of this movie so I can go back to enjoying it.
Please, yes. And he really reminded me of like the tropey 90s kids from that era of movies, where like fucking all the kids in like movies from 30 years ago, they all had skateboards and they were all, like able to outsmart every single adult they came across, and they, just every single child actor trope you can think of from 20, 30 years ago was put into this kid. And I do agree, the movie would have been better without that character. I'm not going to harp on the actor, even though a lot of his dialogue isn't great. But not only is some of his dialogue not great, the way he delivers some of his dialogue isn't that good either. So yeah, he just didn't work for me at all. Yeah, so we spoke about the action here. Like, this is just some grade A superhero action. I mean, like, from the get-go, they put you at ease, at least with the action, letting you know that the action here is okay. The action here is going to be fine.
From the moment he first shows up.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man. They did a great job with it.
they really did try to push the limit on that PG-13 rating with the action.
Yeah. So here's the thing. There's actually a R-rated cut of this.
Really?
So they initially submitted it, and they were like, "This is hard R. You can't do this." And
Like, what do you mean? You shocked that man's penis off? Like,
yeah, just flew right off like he drank some gluten or something. And and so they like they ended up like taking all like the really like gory stuff out and like some of the swearing and stuff. And I'm like, please put that cut out on HBO.
I would love to see that.
Oh my God, please put out that cut.
Yeah, if they put out a cut that already cut but the kid's not in it too.
Oh my God,
Oh,
I could make that a reality for you, even if they don't.
that would be amazing.
Every time that like Black Adam in the original cut said "fuck," they just replaced it with like 5 minutes of that kid.
That's what it felt like. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
What'd you think about the humor in this?
I was again pleasantly surprised because like the way they played the humor reminded me of like the early phases of Marvel.
Yep, I was just thinking that, man.
Yeah.
It's like this is structured more like a Marvel movie than a DC film. It really is. And I mean that positively.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
And but I do want to put emphasis on like early Marvel movies because like there's a difference between the humor that Thor had in Phase 1 versus the humor he had in Phase 3.
Correct.
And the type of humor we get here is more Thor Phase 1, whereas like Black Adam is making a joke, but he's not in on it.
Right.
You know, like he.
and the moments where he is in on it, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And even then, like he's not laughing, you know, like
Yeah.
they play the humor very well, and that's something else that I definitely noticed for sure. Because like you get moments with the humor where it's like, you know, I wouldn't have imagined them putting that in there, but it works, so
Right.
I dug it.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the characters get a nice little like comedic shine, and none of it, for the most part, undermines their integrity.
Absolutely,
So important.
Yeah. I mean, like, and there were moments of humor that I mean, like, legit had Kevin and I. We were rolling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's some jokes in this that I think will land on the third and fourth viewing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just really good. I mean, the theater that we were in, I went to an opening night packed theater, and I mean, there were people just cackling. And,
Same. Yeah. Like yeah, there were people dying. There was one asshole behind us who wouldn't stop talking. Kevin wanted to punch that guy in the face, but
I mean, it gave me the opening night Marvel movie vibes, right down to like, not gonna spoil it here, but like there is an after credits, and like the pop in that theater was enormous.
same. The pop that we got in our theater, like people were fucking applauding like their fucking grandchild had just given birth. Like
it was insane.
Yeah. And so yeah. By the way, guys, yeah, there's a mid credit scene, so definitely stick around.
Yeah, just one mid credits.
Yeah.
Do not walk out of that theater. I don't care if like your bladder and both kidneys are on the verge of rupture.
Piss that seat.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was interesting because like after we saw that post credit scene, Kevin asked me, so it's another one, and I said, there better not be because I don't know what you do to top that one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The only thing it could have been is like, you know, Marvel do like some of the like funny ones.
Yeah.
Or whatever. If it was like that guy that he throws in the trailer, and, like he's like
Right.
orbiting the Earth. You know, they put it like 6 days later, and
Right.
he like, finally hits the ground.
Oh yeah,
They could do a little something.
they could do something like that. That would have worked. What you think about the use of sound and music here?
So I thought about the score a lot because you know that's something I've been paying a lot of attention to. I'm not going to say it was tremendous, but I thought it was adequate.
Yeah.
There wasn't any time where the score took me out of what was going on. There were a couple times where I like really took note of it, and you know, like I said, it wasn't like, you know, I didn't come out of there like, oh man, that Black Adam theme is a bop. You know, I didn't, nothing like that. But I thought it was always adequate to what was going on. You know.
Yeah. No, I'm about the same on that. Like for me, typically, if the score doesn't like if I don't notice it, then it must be fine. And if I do notice it, then it's either really good or really bad.
I actually I take that back.
Mm-hmm.
When they introduced the kid, they play that fucking Rat in a Cage song.
Oh,
And it was terrible.
Yeah.
Terribly placed.
Yeah.
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't fit his character at all.
Very true.
It didn't really fit the aesthetic of Kondar. Is that?
Yeah, Kondak.
Kondak.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say Kondar for some reason. I feel like that's something in another. But I didn't feel like it fit the aesthetic of Kondak at all.
Yeah.
So that would be the one thing I would take away from it.
That's true. I did like the use of like Hall and Oates, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. And they also used a Kanye song that is appropriate but too on the nose.
It was way too on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a terrible time to be putting
It is
Kanye
like
track in your movie.
Right. I understand that this may like be short notice, but I'm like, Kanye's been acting like a goddamn fool for the past 4 years, you know.
Yeah, you could have threw like a Jay-Z track or something.
Right.
Get some of that Stranger Things. Just throw some Kate Bush.
Right. They just straight up use Running Up That Hill.
Yeah, like their version
right.
of it. Yeah, like
It's The Rock singing it.
yeah. I kind of want to see. I gotta see that now.
That would be fantastic. HBO, put that in the R-rated cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just replace both of those tracks we mentioned with "Running Up That Hill" by Kate Bush. She'll be very happy to collect those royalties again.
Oh, for sure. All right, man. You got anything else for the spoiler-free section? We kind of talked about the plot, the pacing. What you think about the tone also before we wrap up?
I think that like if the tone was like a scale that goes from like -10 being like the darkest, like -10 is like the Snyder Cut post credit scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh
like,
yeah, that's
just
dark as
straight
fuck.
up
dog.
dark
Yeah.
as fuck, like darkest timeline. And then like positive, like a 10 on the other side, you know, is just like the most lighthearted, you know, shit. It's like, you know,
Thor taking care of an orphan.
No, but close. If it was like Thor takes in like a super puppy, you know, so something like that. So like DC Super Pets.
Puppies, kids.
Yeah, whatever. You know, same thing. It's Chris Hemsworth convincing the studio to let his real daughter be in the movie. I'd say that, like, you know, this was probably like somewhere towards the middle, right? And I would have dialed it towards the dark just a little bit. You know, like just like back in the day when you had to like do the dial on the TV and it would be off a little bit.
Right.
Like just off the station, and it would make it all static. You had to go up there and just like nudge it just a little bit. That's all I would do. Is I would just turn it just a tad, make it a little bit darker, and maybe take some like in the method of taking some of the like family shit out.
Yeah,
because the movie didn't need it.
It didn't. Like, even with what the story they're trying to tell, and the juxtaposition they're trying to use. Even if we did need it, we didn't need so much of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not really so much like if they had just made it like an endearing like brother sister thing, that would have been cool because like I actually enjoyed both of those characters for the most part.
Yeah.
It's the kid.
It's the kid
that's just so cringe. It's like we need all of our bad writing decisions. We need to be able to blame them on one stupid character. It's like anytime we're going to do anything dumb, we can just blame it on this kid.
Right.
And that's where they invented him from.
Yeah, that's where he came from.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Yeah, he was born of malice.
Right.
This is not his fault.
I say they should just file down his teeth and nails and throw him in the fighting pit with the other kids.
Oh, damn it.
What they should do.
All right, Egan.
Okay.
No, not the time.
No shit.
Man, I'm not trying to hang out with Vecna tonight.
Yeah, dog. It would have been a terrible night for that.
Yeah.
I need to reprogram that button. You got anything else before we give our final verdict and mosey on to the spoiler field?
Nah, man, I'm ready to give that score.
All right. I'll let you do the honors, man. Go ahead with your score.
So, I am gonna give this movie an 8. And the things that I've kind of talked about here the negatives that take those points away. It's definitely the two characters that I mentioned. It's the kid, it's Adam Smasher and the way that he's portrayed and the visuals. And that's really it, man. A couple things on the score, but like there really wasn't anything that I was just like, oh, that's awful. Unless I'm just really nitpicking at it. Yeah, I mean, that's really where I land at on it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to see more of it. Are there things in it that are tropey? Yes. There's a few, speaking of tropes, there's a few dialogue choices that are just really, like, just bottom of the barrel, tropey. You've heard them a million times. One of the characters even drops the dreaded, "We were counting on it," and you're just, like, eye-rolling. But, yeah, I'm very comfortable with an 8.0 on this.
All right. I will go ahead and give Kevin's score. Kevin thoroughly enjoyed this movie. Kevin is a very, very dark, twisted individual, so he loved all of the gratuitous action that we got in this movie. He liked the use of humor as well. Thought that the visuals were very well done, and he also had a blast with how the movie was paced as well. And he enjoyed the fact that he was able to actually laugh in a superhero movie again. He gave this movie a 9.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. And as for myself, I thought that this movie was going to be absolute mid at best. I was ready to have one of those nights where I watch a shitty movie, but have a fun time with the podcast nonetheless, because the podcast is always fun.
Yeah, I walked out of the theater and be like, man, I can't come shit on it.
Right. I think that The Rock did a tremendous job in the lead role, and I think that specifically Dr. Fate and Hawkman were absolutely tremendous in this movie. And I also enjoyed what we got with the third act villain, even though they didn't expound upon him a whole lot. What they did with him did enough for us to see that this guy is a big bad threat to be taken seriously. But yeah, I think that this movie as a whole was a very, very good outing from DC. I also gave it an 8 out of 10.
See, I was fully expecting to come on here and get completely reamed and uninvited from future appearances for rating this movie higher than the Batman. So.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're still wrong about that. Like, I mean, because Kevin and I both gave the Batman like at least a 9, maybe higher.
I think you guys gave it a 9.5.
Yeah,
one of you gave it a 9, the other 9.5.
I believe so. Yeah, I think I gave it a 9.5, and Kevin gave it a 9.
I had no problem saying I enjoyed this movie just slightly more than the Batman. Like, I have more issues with the Batman than I have about this movie. But, like, the issues I have with the Batman, I have, like, a lot of minor problems. Whereas with this movie, I have just a couple of really major ones.
Well, hey, we don't have to talk about that, We don't have
the viewership numbers just tanked.
Yeah,
Get this guy
the fuck out of here. But okay, so that would be all for the spoiler-free section, guys. So if you have not yet seen the movie and do not wish to be spoiled, then at this point you need to go ahead and hit the pause button, go watch the movie, and then come back and resume. But for those of you who are still sticking around, then we are assuming that you are not afraid of spoilers. You ain't afraid of no goddamn spoilers, are you?
Or Ghost.
Or Ghost, yeah.
I ain't afraid of no Ghost.
Or imagine if there were ghosts that existed only to spoil shit for you.
No, I'd be afraid of that.
Oh, yeah, like a ghost that shows them, like, House of the Dragon tomorrow, this happens. Like, God damn it.
I'd be turbo pissed, man. The episode leaked, and I'm already scared to go on the internet.
Right. Who you think leaked it? It was goddamn Ghost.
Yeah. It was the same ones that run that fucking hotel.
Wait.
The Ghost Hotel from Dragon Con that year.
Shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same fucking ghost, man.
Goddamn.
That's who we need to put Kanye on, is them ghosts.
Some ghosts?
Yeah, have him go on a fucking Twitter rant about them ghosts.
I mean, I feel like you can mention anything to Kanye. He ran about it.
Yeah,
and
for like
it'd be
2 hours.
Yeah, and like similar to like Alex Jones, like you don't want to support the man, but you want to listen for entertainment value.
Do you think that he reacted to the South Park Gay Fish episode exactly like he did in the episode?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 100%.
Uh-huh.
He's probably like, I don't get it.
yeah.
He probably had the whiteboard and everything.
Oh yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, man. Fucking Kanye. Like, goddamn. And like, man, he's making it hard for us black folks to keep supporting him. Like, come on, man. Like we have given you chance after chance, and now you want to wear a White Lives Matter T-shirt. You want to
While hanging out with
Candace Owens. I'm like, this is the only time that bitch will ever hang out with you. Just so you know.
Right? Yeah. Well, unless you are prepared to say some other.
Oh yeah, yeah. Right. If you want to shit on black people some more. Like he was fucking he got on a podcast, Drink Champs, and just shat all over fucking oh my gosh, George Floyd.
Right, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and that was a fucking terrible look as well. And he went and talked about how black people basically don't have any history or culture in this country. I'm like, motherfucker, you part of that too then. Like,
yeah. Is it just me or has his voice become like really high pitched?
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know what's up with that.
I don't know either. Like I don't know if this is like New Ye. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then of course like his was got to be his final nail in the coffin. Is he went after the Jews.
Right. Like
you don't
up.
Yeah.
Straight up. Just blatant racism / anti-Semitism.
Right.
Just right on Twitter.
God, it's like he read Mein Kampf and said, you know what, this is all right.
Yeah. He was like, it's cool, man. Elon said I can say whatever I want on here now. So, to try to save this intermission, is this the best Dwayne Johnson film? And if not, then what is and where would you rank this one?
Okay, so this may be number 2. His first one was clearly his cameo in The Mummy Returns, as the Scorpion King monster.
I really thought they should just use that model and not spend all the money on the CG.
They already did that for She-Hulk.
No, man. Even the original She-Hulk model was better than that damn Scorpion King.
Yeah, that thing was like a PS2 cutscene.
It was atrocious.
Holy shit,
Like,
it was bad.
It was that 2002?
Yeah.
It looked bad then.
It did.
Like, it looked bad in 2002. Like, we had Halo in 2001,
right.
folks. Like,
yeah, like that Scorpion King never looked good. And also, can we talk about how like that was never explained? Like after the Mummy Returns came out, they did a Scorpion King movie, and we never learned why that motherfucker turned into a giant scorpion.
Yeah, or why he was in there,
right?
Any of that shit. It was just like, because like the Scorpion King was a good movie. I mean, for what it was.
Yeah,
like,
for what it was.
An early 2000s action flick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fellowship of the Ring existed already, folks, when this came out. I just want to point that out. They made a fucking Balrog of Morgoth that still looks good.
Yes. Yes.
A year before that shit came out. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I think that's good. All right.
Sure.
So if you guys are still here with us throughout the Kanye West and Scorpion King rant.
Yeah, if you didn't turn this off when we went on a rant about Kanye going on rants.
Yeah.
Yo, dog, we heard you like rants.
So now we are here in the spoiler-filled section. You want to start off with the red and blue elephant in the room?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
I can't wait another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so listen. It's almost some reverse psychology shit because if you would have told me 10 years ago, like, bro, they're going to put Henry Cavill Superman in a Black Adam movie and you are going to go ape shit for it, I would have been like, the chances of that are nil, my friend. because probably 10 years ago I didn't even know who Henry Cavill was.
Yeah.
But I think it just goes to show, like, I don't know if it's a dig on, like, how bad the DCEU has gotten, or if people really just want to watch, like, if people really just want to see Henry Cavill fight The Rock. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just like, or maybe it's just like, it's even worse. Like maybe the fans originally like didn't really get behind his Superman, because I'm not a big fan of Superman. But it's not because of him; it's because of the way Zack Snyder writes Superman. David Goyer actually would be more accurate.
David Goyer.
But that being the case, like wasn't a big fan of it, but maybe since Warner Brothers was like, fuck him, we were all like, no, fuck you, we love Henry Cavill. Or maybe it's just because, since then we all have really fallen in love with his other roles. It could be all those things.
I was going to say, I think it's just an amalgamation of things. I think you and I both, at times frequent the Jim Cornette podcast. And one of his famous quotes is, how can we miss you if you never go away?
Right.
And Henry Cavill has been gone for a very long time in that role.
Right.
And so to hear over the past several years that he wants to return as Superman, but then to also hear that WB's like, nah, we're good, man. We got these other plans. It was maddening.
Because those other plans are trash.
Those other plans were trash. And they got trashed.
Yeah.
And then also another thing is that, like, while you and I may not particularly be big fans of Superman as a character, he'll probably always be one of the big three,
Right.
Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. He'll probably always be one of like the big superheroes who people recognize and will go to. And honestly, like, I'm one of the people who actually like Man of Steel, and I liked Henry Cavill's portrayal. But I remember when I saw the Snyder Cut for the first time, that was when I was really like, that's what you were supposed to be. That's the guy I was looking for. And I was like, but I only got a sample serving of that because I don't know what's going to happen with you after this. But to see him come back here in this cameo now, it was a great fucking moment to see.
So I have 2 points that I would like to make here.
Yeah.
You're going to like one of them and not the other. Which one would you like first?
Go ahead and
You want me to hit you with the bad one first?
Yeah, let's go ahead and fight
So
first.
I just want to point out that the suit he's wearing, it is the Justice League suit. It's the light blue, sparkly,
He's got a ship with several suits in it, Caleb.
Just solidifying that the Justice League is in fact
that is not solidifying shit. No.
However, I will switch gears to my other point that I had to make. So just tying this together, Idris Elba's character in Suicide Squad, what's his name again? Is it Killshot?
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. I was close to it.
Yep.
So in the movie, Waller mentions that he shot Superman with kryptonite bullets. So did Task Force X or Waller save him, and that's why he owes her a favor? Because she mentioned specifically calling in a favor.
That could be it. But, I was wondering the same thing about Superman, but also the same thing about the JSA, which is why in the hell would they take orders from Waller? Like, they know how she functions.
Well, Waller probably presented it to them in the way that, like, this wasn't even Waller bullshitting. It's like, this is an ancient, angry motherfucker.
Right.
And I'm guessing those ancient texts that they had about him, they probably didn't get that intel from her. That's probably some shit they got from Dr. Fate or,
right.
Who knows. So,
but I would assume that's why Superman won. I think that the way I see that conversation going is Superman would say, I don't trust you, Waller, and really I don't like you that much either. But I'm going to go do this if this man is really a threat.
Yeah. Waller was probably like, well, watch, I'm going to make him a deal. Like, that we won't mess with him if he stays in his country, and he's gonna blow up my drone.
He's like, oh yeah, right. If he blows up your drone, then I'll go.
Yeah, and then he's just like, damn.
God damn it.
It's like, this guy's an asshole, man.
It's like I really didn't want to have to come all the way over here. Yeah. But no, that was man, that was a great moment, and you know, I had heard. I think we all had heard that Henry Cavill was posed to return as Superman. However, thankfully, I was able to avoid the fact that he was going to be in this movie.
Yeah, I was completely caught off guard by it.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, I knew that The Rock wanted him to come back.
Right.
But oh man, it was just a clutch moment, man. And like I said, my theater erupted.
Yeah, mine did too.
I haven't seen that for a DC movie.
Yeah, I can't think of.
If the Snyder Cut had been a theatrical release, I could see that them doing that for Joker, maybe. But that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like, I've never seen them just go ape shit for any DC like stinger like that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was top notch. And also, I love how, like, out of everything, it took Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson to get it done, to get Henry Cavill back, you know. So that just goes to show how much power that man has.
Right. I mean, it's like, you know, people were speculating, like, you know, what if they have The Rock go on Dynamite to promote the movie? Because it's the same company, same parent company.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, like, he'll just tell them no.
Right.
You know, because he's the fucking Rock.
Right.
And they'll be like, are you cool with this? And he'll be like, no. And that'll be the whole discussion. Yeah. Because, like, they need him more than he needs them.
Right.
I mean, him anchoring that franchise to himself, like, that does more for them than literally anything else they could get right now.
Oh, agree. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know much about David Zaslav yet, the guy who's the owner of WB Discovery and all that. Like, I don't know much about him. I don't know if he, you know, is showing signs of intelligence or just desperation or what yet. I don't know what he's capable of.
It could be intelligent desperation.
It could be. Yeah.
He canceled 2 movies I didn't want to see anyway.
Agreed. I also agree there. Yeah.
He moved back a bunch of ones that I kind of was hoping to get out of the way, but
hopefully making them better.
Man, what does it say? This is a spiral, but what does it say about Shazam 2? Like, I'm mad. Like, on paper, just on paper, I am mad that he's leapfrogging Shazam.
Me too.
But in the reality of the DCEU, like, it would not make any sense for Zachary Levi's character to fight him. He would get fucking destroyed.
Yeah, where they're at right now, Shazam wouldn't stand a chance.
Because number one, he still has the mind of a kid. Like,
right.
He hasn't had the powers that long. He's still, like, got a bit of, like, innocence to him.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, fucking Black Adam has had these powers for 5,000 years. Even if he was asleep, he, like, is fully in control of those abilities.
And we've seen what he does with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he would, like, unless they're going to go the route where, like, since they have similar powers, like, Shazam somehow, like, you know, isn't as affected by his shit. Like, they could go that route maybe, but I still don't see him having a believable fight with, like, maybe the whole Shazam family.
Yeah.
But, like you're going to need a new family because a lot of them are going to die.
Right. Right. Like, really, they would have to do, like, some... I could see them if they did, like, some, you know, some Goku shit where it's like, all right, fam, I'm going to need my powers back, you know?
Right. So, because it, like, splits his powers,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, in the way that the trailer for the second one looks, it kind of looks like they just are all sharing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah,
maybe if they do like I'll give him the energy back and whatnot. But I was really like, from the trailers and everything, I was thinking that, like, they were really going to change the mythology here. But, like, seeing the wizards and, like, they actually used the Shazam code word and everything, I was just like, fuck yes, like, this is perfect.
Because I was gonna ask you if I had like some kind of weird Mandela effect, but I was like, I could have sworn in the trailers we saw like them tying him up to some machine as they were explaining his origin,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that doesn't have shit to do with how he got his powers.
As a matter of fact, the trailers like spoiled the shit out of like a major plot point for the movie.
Yeah, and I had no clue though.
Yeah.
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 But you're right, they really do.
Yeah, because like the whole time I'm like I called it only because the trailer spoiled it. But I still enjoyed it in the movie. Like I still enjoyed the twist because if I had not heard it in the trailer, then I wouldn't have known. But like he's not the kid. Like he's
Right.
the dad or
Yeah.
whatever. And the kid was like the true champion. And
Right.
he's just a fucking super pissed off guy that lost everything.
Yeah.
And like the way that reveal was handled in the movie, all of that was just tremendous. I thought.
That was really a great reveal. Like, what a great play on his mythology, and like what a great twist. I mean, again, in a movie where you barely expect them to be able to string together sentences, I certainly didn't expect them to present to me like a really cool twist like that. So yeah, that I thought was awesome. Like I said, I've been reading, some JSA and like some other notable stories with Black Adam, and I was pleasantly surprised. You remember like the two statues that were like had like their fist touching? Yeah, that's actually straight from the comics. Like in Kahndaq, that actually existed.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
The imagery and everything was tremendous.
yeah,
Man, okay, so all of the Dr. Fate shit with his like powers and everything.
Oh my gosh.
There were so many moments where I was like, "This is Doctor Strange," and then like they would do it in a way that it didn't take you there.
Yeah,
They even did the shit where he like splits up, but like his like split up shit works differently. And there were so many
yeah.
times I thought they might fall into that trap.
Right.
Like when he's fighting Sabak.
Yep.
When he like does the thing where he spreads out or whatever, and like I was like, please don't fucking everybody like throw like,
that-
the thing
yeah,
to connect to him or whatever. I was like, I'll be so pissed.
right.
Let's talk about Sabak since we're in the spoiler section.
Yeah.
We can do that. I thought he was one of the tropey elements where it was like, okay, we're gonna fight a CG demon monster at the end, but the fight was good.
The fight was really good, and it also it didn't fix the trope, but it helped a little bit that Sabak spoke, and that you got to like kind of hear some of what he had to say. And when you couple that with the fact that they had been quietly setting him up the entire movie, because like another character I didn't care for was like the avatar for Sabak.
Right.
But then once you get like the overly exposition about who he is and like his lineage and him becoming Sabak, I was like, oh, okay, so that was really clever how they played him. But Sabak, he's one of those characters, right, where like, I can see if they wanted to save Sabak for like a future movie, like I can see there being a movie where like Shazam and Black Adam are fighting each other, and then they do the whole thing where like, oh shit, well, we have to both work together. We want to stop this motherfucker because he's that bad, he's that powerful. That's kind of how Sabak is. Like he's insanely immense. Like even I think the movie even tells you as much, but like his name is also like an acronym, just like Shazam. So instead of like him getting his powers from gods, he gets his powers from like the Dark Lords. But you mentioned like the Dr. Fate fight with that he had with Sabak. I think a lot of that cool element had to do with like the cinematography. How like every time he get punched, it zoom in on his helmet and you see the reflection, and it would come out on another Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
How frustrating must that have been for Sabak? Like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. They did it like even when like Hawkman was like fighting Sabak. That shit was so cool, and it was like he would start cutting him, and like lava was coming out of his ass.
Right.
What's really funny is when they like show his body or whatever. I actually didn't like they had kept saying like life is the gateway to death or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But and like I didn't even process it. Like I was like, I know it's going to be important, but I didn't even pick up on like the fact that he wanted them to kill him or whatever.
Right.
Because when he brought the shield down, I was like, that's stupid as fuck.
Yeah. Why
If
did
he
you
wanted to shoot this kid? Why did you bring the shield down? I got turbo pissed. Well, like I went to go pee like while like right at the scene where they were showing his body.
Yeah.
And so like when I walked back in the theater, he was like a giant demon man. I was
Right.
like, the fuck? I was gone for like 30 seconds. I was like, this guy was dead. I come back and he's fucking, you know, like
Surtur. Yeah.
Like, I really did think that it would have been cool, like when they showed like the Rock of Eternity and all that shit, and he like they showed like the hell or demons or whatever.
Yeah.
If they would have just like if they would have showed like fucking Trigon like walking around in the background or something.
Oh
like,
my
something cool like
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
You know, they could have thrown like some little cameos in there or whatever. It doesn't take away that they didn't.
Right.
But,
that would have been fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
See
So,
fucking Trigon back there just scratching his ass. Yeah.
so I will say this though. If there's anything that I don't like about Black Adam as a character in this movie, it is that they really tried to humanize him at the end. You know, we all knew that they were going to lean more hero than anti-hero at the end of it. And I'm hoping that they don't lean too far into that.
Same.
If he's like saving puppies and shit, I'm going to be angry.
Yeah. Like I thought that it was perfect when he had like that kind of Conan the Barbarian moment where he was sitting on the throne and he even strikes the pose that we've all seen the picture of Black Adam sitting in his Kandaki throne. I love that moment, but then he destroyed it, and I was like, "Where are we going with this?" You know?
Right.
I mean, because I am with you. I hope that they don't lean too far into like the whole hero aspect, because I mean, and it's true. Even in the comics, like the way that he was reinvented into an anti-hero, it is a fine line to walk with him. You know, because at the end of the day, he wants to protect his people. But it's just his version of protection can be seen as extreme violence from other people. So, yeah, hopefully in like future sequels, they can continue to keep that kind of balance with them. You know, man. Also, something else interesting here is that man, when Dr. Fate, you know, when he made the sacrifice play in this movie, I was like, shit, we're going to lose. We just got him. We're going to lose him. But I get it. And, you know, it worked. But it is important to remember something that maybe the general audience doesn't know. And that is, if Hawkman dies, he is resurrected. Like,
Right.
That's his thing, is death and resurrection. Him and Hawkgirl both, like, they are like permanently intertwined. They have existed since ancient Egypt. Hell, originally walking into this movie, I thought that that Black Adam would maybe even recognize Hawkman, you know, just because like Hawkman has technically been around for a very long time. He's just in a different cycle of death and resurrection constantly.
Right.
So I mean, if he died, would have been sad, would have sucked, but he would have came back eventually.
I like that they didn't do that. Like, I really like that they let him be strong, like, because it would have been very easy to shit on him.
Agreed.
I had, like, no issues with him. I was like,
Yeah.
I would watch a Hawkman movie in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Fate was handled so well. I didn't even mind Hawkman, like, using the helmet briefly. Like,
Yeah, that was an excellent moment.
that shit was really, like, a nice, like, just deep cut moment.
Right.
Really love that shit. And I think they're setting up for like Zatanna to get the helmet.
That would be fucking
And
awesome.
Zatanna with the helmet is fucking
Oh my gosh.
insane.
Yes. That is so that's fucking busted.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, you know, if they do that, number one, they got to introduce a good Zatanna, and
Yeah.
then they have to have her be super hesitant to put the helmet on. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like they got to put her in a position where it's like,
She's got to look great in fishnets.
correct. Yeah, we just got canceled. But yes, correct.
Oh, hell yeah. Some things are worth it.
They should just get Kat Dennings. Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm down. That's perfect.
Yeah.
They better have like fucking 100 pair of fishnets on hand because she's going to be busting through them bitches.
Every last one of them. Yeah, they're gonna be like, you thought Geralt's armor was bad.
Oh shit! Now we got canceled. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, I was like, so some of the humor, man, like some of the, I think the one that got me the most was when Black Adam went after the one guard or the one henchman on the motorbike, catches him, and then just chunks his ass like 15 miles away. And Dr. Fate, telepathically comes in and goes like, okay, did you find the guard? I can break his mind and get the information. And Black Adam, like the look on his face is like, fuck.
Yeah. And then the guy falls and it's like, he didn't make it.
Right. Yeah, because Dr. Fate goes, you killed him, didn't you?
Yeah. I loved the can either of you fly? I loved that.
Yeah.
I really loved the sarcasm.
Yes.
It was that like we said, that kind of early Thor humor where it's like he doesn't know what sarcasm is.
Right.
So like Dr. Fate uses it and he's just like, oh, so that means you just lie.
Yeah. Because that wasn't sarcasm so much as it was a lie.
Yeah. He's like, I love teens.
Yeah, you're being sarcastic, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Just had to be sure.
I mean, and even like one of the first like jokes that we get in the movie is like so the who teaches the child violence?
Oh man! And he was like, "So who do you want? You want his father to teach him violence?" The whole thing was so good.
It was fucking great. Yeah.
I was just curious, and I popped over here because like the critic reviews for this movie were atrocious.
I think it's like 44, right? 44%.
Yeah, I popped over here to Rotten Tomatoes, and
wow,
it is so rare to see such a huge discrepancy. So right now we're sitting at the critic score at 43%. The audience score is at 88%.
That's fucking double.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing, man, is like, I really hope that it makes money because I really want to see like more of these, I want to see more of this character. I want to see more of these characters.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at it over here on Metacritic, 40 Metascore of the critics, and there's only like 100 user ratings right now, where it's like there are thousands on Rotten Tomatoes, but it's sitting at 7.5 on Metacritic for user score. So once again, about double.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know if these like movie critics are just expecting them all to be fucking Shakespeare or what, but I'm just like, I went into this movie. It's like, people who were like, it reminds me a lot of the Transformers movies, and I say that in a positive way, which is weird. But it's like, okay, I bought a ticket to this movie to watch robots fighting for 2 hours.
Right.
And at the time, Megan Fox running in slow motion.
Yes.
And the problem in that movie was anytime that's not happening. I went in to watch this movie not knowing that I was going to get a super dope Dr. Fate and a super dope Hawkman. I went into this movie wanting to watch The Rock murder people for an hour. And I get that.
Yeah.
And when I'm not getting that, that's when we have problems.
Right.
So it's that same kind of setup.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Because when we're not getting like the characters we like, we're getting the characters we don't like, i.e. the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they could have taken the kid out and given me 15 more minutes of like, Hawkman and Dr. Fate exposition.
Just going back to the humor again, like I love like Hawkman's beef with fucking Atom Smasher. That
I love when he's like just blatantly trying to hit on Cyclone.
Yeah,
and he's just like, stop.
Right.
That moment was great. Yeah. The one moment that Atom Smasher like is great is when he fucking accidentally backhands.
Right.
Yeah. Fight. Dude, everyone lost their shit
right.
when that happened.
Oh,
me included. I was losing.
Oh shit! And when Dr. Fate has one of his prophetic visions, and he's like, I hate to tell you this, but not all of us make it. And Hawkman is like, it's Atom Smasher, isn't it? Just fucking straight up wants to throw that kid under the metaphorical and probably literal bus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that we're both in agreement. We're like, I would really like to see a Justice Society movie.
Yeah, have it be like a prequel to this.
Yeah, that'd be super dope. But it's like some of the members, I wonder who they could or would use. So some for because like I still don't know like the state of the DCEU in terms of what is and isn't canon, but it's like at one point Hippolyta, she was on the team. She was Wonder Woman, before Diana.
Right.
And it's like they probably won't do that because that would genuinely confuse people.
What's Diana's like apprentice or whatever? That's in Young Justice.
Oh yeah, that's oh shit. The fuck is her name?
I can't remember.
Yeah, not Cassie, but oh my gosh,
it's a Greek name.
It is.
Like
I thought
Athena or something like that. But
yeah, I thought it started with a D. Not Diane. There's something like Diana. What in the fuck is her name?
Anyway,
that's gonna bother you.
Yeah, it is. It's gonna bother you now. But yeah, I mean, they could go the opposite direction.
Donna Troy.
Yeah,
Donna Troy.
I knew. I was like, there's something in here with that. But yeah, they could go that route and go the other direction if they wanted to. Since this is a modern justice society,
That's true.
There's a lot that they could go in for different directions. Since we are pointing out things, there was two moments I thought that this movie these things didn't bother me, but I'm like, these are two things where it would be obvious. I think for you to hit a like they hit a single and they could have hit a double or a triple. And one of them is like when they go to the cool ass underground facility where no one is just worried that Amanda Waller has like hundreds of fucking people contained down here. That could never go wrong.
Yep. Yeah.
But like I think that it would have been cool for them to have like Aquaman down there, or at least just have her mention like Aquaman, like the Atlanteans, like help me set up this facility or whatever. Like that would have been a cool nod.
Oh yeah.
And then the other thing is like that. So the blonde chick that comes out there that works for Task Force X or whatever. Why did they not use James Gunn's wife? I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
From Suicide Squad. She works for Waller. We already know her.
That's true.
Like, why did y'all cast this random ass character when it could have been her? Like,
that is true. Yeah, that would have been perfect.
Yeah.
And, speaking of that scene that you mentioned, I think that another just fun Easter egg scene. This is something that both in the theater, Kevin and I zoomed in on, and you probably did too. But like once they lock up Black Adam and they zoom out and you see like all the other prisons, like I don't know about you, but like we kind of looked in to see like is there anything that we can recognize, anyone who they might have, So that would have been cool, just to see, like I said, if they had like Aquaman, or if they, even though it would be really dumb to keep Aquaman in an underwater facility.
I absolutely hated his escape though. The escape scene where he gets out of the container. I fucking hated every moment of that. I detest that whole scene. Like, take it out. Like, what they should have done is they should have had like the guards like surround him or whatever, like guns on him, and then like he mumbles the word or whatever, he transforms. There's no way he should have been able to come out of that chamber without the powers and fight all those guards. And then why would you try to swim to the surface?
Right. Why won't you just take the thing out of your mouth
and say the shit and then go out there? Like that whole thing made no sense, and I hated it.
Yeah, like, so I'm not completely mad at him fighting the guards. Like, should he have won? Probably not. But I was a little frustrated at him waiting till he reached the surface, literally drowning, seeing his family and them being like, hey, no, motherfucker, you got to go back to work. And then him reaching the surface and saying Shazam. I'm like, you really could have saved yourself a lot of trouble if you just said it while you could breathe in that facility.
Yeah, and then you could have just flown out.
Yeah. Would have been easy peasy.
Yeah, that shit pissed me off, man.
Yeah.
I get what they were going for. They're trying to have that triumphant hero moment. We all knew what was going to happen. You're just dragging it out.
Right.
To talk about another positive, though, man, the way he fucking kills Sabak.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
That was incredible.
That was. Like, straight up, paper mache that motherfucker.
That shit was horrendous.
Right.
You know that shit hurt.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's better to be wishboned that way than the other way, I guess.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
so. Yeah, because you won't be feeling anything by the time.
Yeah.
You know,
But yeah, that shit was brutal.
it really was.
Yeah.
It was. That was atrocious.
And again, I really liked, that we got that moment when Black Adam was locked up, just because we got time to see the Justice Society do their thing again.
Right.
And
the way they played that with like Dr. Fate, with him trying to him locking them out and
right,
changing the series of events and everything, doing the sacrifice play, I really enjoyed the way that they did it.
Yeah,
because it wasn't tropey or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't tropey, and he didn't do the thing where he gave up at the end either.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, fuck that. Like, if I can win, I'm gonna win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the thing. Is there probably were some possible outcomes where he could have won, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's like, what would that have done?
Yeah, he didn't pull the Doctor Strange and just, all right, give him the stone.
Right,
He was like, I'm gonna fight this motherfucker to the death.
Yeah.
I ain't going out with no punk bitch.
Yeah, no, fuck all that. Motherfucker looks like the devil.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I'm supposed to be the champion of order.
Right.
I loved his powers, man.
Oh yeah.
The way that they demonstrated his powers were so good.
Yeah, they really were. They did their homework with that, man, because and again, similar to Doctor Strange, it's all about how creative you want to get, because shit, there's no fucking limit to what those guys can do.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do with them, they can do it.
You just got to make it make some kind of fucking sense.
Yeah, make it make some kind of sense.
And it's got to look good.
Yes. Man, the illusionary magic that he used to make him Black Adam think that they were back in I think ancient Kahndaq.
Yeah.
That was
distract him. Yeah.
Right.
That was fantastic.
Yeah. That was really fucking good. But yeah, man, you got anything else?
That's it, man. I think we've covered this one really thorough.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I would see this movie again. I don't know if I'll see it again in theaters if I have time, but I'll definitely watch it when it comes out for sure. Mm-hmm. This is one of the better entries in the DCU for me, whatever that is these days. And I really hope that this is a franchise that they continue with, because like I said, the audience seems to be very fond of the movie, and I hope it does. I hope it puts up some good numbers.
I hope so too, because DC really needs the money, and because the Rock can't be cheap, and also because I would really like to see a sequel, and I would like to see more of these Justice Society members.
Our theater was packed, man.
Man, ours really wasn't.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I mean they were loud as fuck. They were making a lot of noise, but it wasn't packed. Yeah, I guess one more thing before we wrap up, man. What would you like to see in a sequel? Anything particularly you got in mind?
Here's what I don't want. Mm-hmm. I don't want a Superman versus Black Adam movie where him and Henry Cavill team up at the end. We already tried that.
Yeah. And it's like to fight fucking what?
Trigon, Darkseid, that's it. That's the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the list of people who can fight those two. Your DC knowledge is deeper than mine, but
that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah. Yeah, and Darkseid has can just about fight Superman. He just has a leg up on Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have fight Black Adam and Superman.
Right.
He could fight them.
Yeah.
But shit.
He's gonna have to Omega Beam one of them immediately.
Yeah. The longer that fight goes without one of them getting Omega Beam,
right?
And it's probably gonna be The Rock, because Black Adam thinks he's invincible.
Yeah.
You get hit with the fucking beams, bro.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. All kind of shit's gonna happen to you, and none of it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
In RPG terms, that shit does maximum damage and applies all the negative status effects all at one time.
Right. And the AC to avoid that is not in your favor.
No. No, he gets a plus 45 to hit you.
Right.
Ain't y'all seen the Snyder Cut, man? He hit that shit underwater.
Underwater.
And straight wrecked an Atlantean.
Right.
In the water.
That poor fucking Atlantean was trying his best to, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
And Darkseid didn't even have to kill that guy.
Right. That guy was no threat to you, Darkseid.
Yeah, he beamed that dude just for the fucking sake.
Right. Just because he can. Just because, like, look what I can do, not even looking at you. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Madness, dude. Like, that's my thing. Is like, who would they fight? And that's the list. Mm-hmm. That's the list. Like,
now there is another option, one that I think I like just as badly, maybe worse, and that is if they do Evil Superman.
Evil Superman, or they could do the Injustice.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or,
the Crime Syndicate.
The Crime Syndicate. Yeah. Just have like that would be an incredible way to go about it, man. If they that is a way they could do it. Is like they could be like, oh yeah, man, like Keaton's Batman is going to be in the movie, and you'd be like, fuck yeah, okay, cool. Like I wouldn't pop for that, but like people want that shit for some reason. And then like he's actually Owlman.
That would be dope.
I would lose my shit for that.
Yeah.
Because like Keaton could play that really well, I think.
Yeah, he'd nail Owlman.
Yeah.
For sure. Like I don't know if you've seen that one indie movie he was in. I think I have it. Birdman, I think it was called.
Yeah.
That was actually a really fucking good movie. Where he plays like he's kind of a twisted douchebag, but he's also a superhero.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, and also obviously he's played Batman, so yeah, he would nail Owlman. That and he played the Vulture. Yeah, he'd be perfect for Owlman.
Yeah. I mean, Bale would kill it too, but like,
yes,
he's not gonna do it. I don't think.
Oh man,
I don't think Warner Brothers has the money.
that too.
And I just don't think he wants to play Batman again. Like he straight up was like, unless like Nolan, Oldman, and him all are in it, like he's not interested. So unless they're gonna get Christopher Nolan to direct that movie, which I am all for.
Oh no, Nolan, he's done with WB, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's it was because like he got pissed at them over Tenet. Over Tenet.
Yeah, not being in theaters. Yeah.
Which we got Oppenheimer.
Yeah, but I say, who's what studio's making Oppenheimer?
I don't know, and we don't know shit about the movie. All I know is like this is all they need to do for the trailer. They throw up the word Oppenheimer, and they'd be like Christopher Nolan. I'd be like, cool, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, if you're gonna try to tell me, Nolan, that like Oppenheimer, you know, he created more than just like the nuclear bomb, but like the nuclear bomb is also like a fucking time warp that, you know, you're not just destroying your reality, you're destroying the fucking quantum physics of the greater known universe.
Are you having a stroke?
Yeah. I'm trying to decipher a Nolan movie, all right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, man, I've seen Tenet twice, and I still don't know what the fuck happens. I couldn't spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing. Not to go off on another tangent here, but like I thoroughly enjoyed Tenet. Couldn't tell you what happened.
Yeah, all I know is that at the end, John David Washington and Robert Pattinson pull some slick shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. Like that's the whole.
Right.
That's the movie. Yeah.
I'm glad Nolan understands it though.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like fucking Christian Bale as Owlman would be like the most amazing shit.
That would be perfect. That would be perfect.
So you think they would get like a former actor for everybody? So
would they get Brandon Routh then as Ultraman?
No.
I can't really see him as a bad guy anyway.
Yeah. They're just, what they should do is they should get they should just have Henry Cavill do it in a mustache, but have J. Jonah Jameson voice him.
Son of a bitch. God damn.
Omni-Man motherfuckers. You wouldn't be mad about it.
Get Smolders as not Kobe Smolders, but get Jamie Alexander.
Yes. That'd be incredible casting. Mm-hmm. Marvel would be mad, but whatever. I'll be like, y'all bitches cut my arm.
Yeah, but
off.
y'all cut her arm off. I don't want to hear that
fuck
shit.
outta here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting. Who else? Well, we don't even have a Hal Jordan on either side of that. So
whoever you want to get for Hal Jordan.
So
what do you do about Cyborg?
Grant Gustin plays the Flash, and then the evil Flash is played by
Ezra Miller. The difference is though, you don't tell Ezra that, you know.
Right.
You just let them think otherwise. And the good thing is about like the grid, like evil Cyborg, like you just straight up CG that motherfucker.
Yeah.
No human elements to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have Joss Whedon be the grid.
What the God damn.
Who else are we missing?
Let's see. Did we get him? I think we probably got him up. Yeah. I don't think evil Aquaman is in there.
No. We need an Archer. We need an evil Green Arrow.
Yeah, an evil Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Huh.
They just get Stephen Amell. Yeah.
Who's the good one?
Or they get Stephen Amell to be Green Arrow, and they get Robbie Amell to be the
oh, yeah. God damn it. Right there on the nose again.
I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Hey man, if they get Christian Bale to be Owlman, it doesn't matter. None of the rest of it matters.
That's true.
He's in charge. It doesn't make a fuck.
Yeah.
But I would pop for Joss Whedon. That's the grid. They would just have to have him record all his shit because none of them are going to work with him.
Right.
So he can just record all his shit like at his house or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, he ain't getting no work currently, so he could, he'd be down.
Yeah, I'd still interview him for my podcast. I'd be like, "Why you do that shit, man?"
Yeah, man. What's he's like, what shit in particular are you referring to?
I would just pull out the fucking list of allegations. I'd be like, "We got Ezra Miller coming on next week." Hold on. I pull out like a Chris Jericho list of shit.
So here are 1,001 allegations against you, Mr. Whedon.
Yeah, we're gonna start with Buffy and go forward.
Yeah. The fuck, man. God damn. All right. Now that we're completely gone off the rails, guys, that was Black Adam.
It was. And Friends.
Yeah, Black Adam and Friends. Black Adam and Co. Thoroughly enjoyed this. One more superhero left to go this year. I don't have a drum roll. That's what I keep forgetting. I keep telling Kevin I need to put a drum roll button on here.
Wait, 2? Isn't Shazam 2 or did it get pushed back?
It got pushed back.
Fuck. Okay, so yeah. So we just got the King. Well, the King is dead. Long live the King.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. T'Challa the Peaceful. Is that what we're calling him?
Yeah, the Sprite mascot. Fucking Christ, man. You know we talk about those things that get through marketing.
Yeah. I don't know how that one passed.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's to the blacks ending the year off right, man. Black Adam, I would say is definitely a resounding success. Here's to Black Panther 2 also being a resounding success.
Oh, and also Team Black in House of the Dragon.
And Team Black in House of the Dragon.
And Co, yeah.
Yeah. So may the blacks all around win. I've been saying that for 34 years, for various reasons. Don't need to be discussed. Oh, but I got nothing else, bud. You good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It was a blast. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, as always, man. It's been awesome. It's been amazing having you on, man. It's so much goddamn fun. Too much fun, some would say. But that will be all for this. So, homies, one and all, thank you guys again for listening in. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this. But that will be all for now. So, until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.